I can't see her doing something like that. She's super intelligent. I can't.
Can you tell me how you came to know Taylor?
Through working PI cases.
Okay.
She'd come over to our house every now and then. She met my wife. They became friends.
Did you guys ever have a falling out or?
Never. From doing this job for so long, I would just pick up little lies from her.
Some criminal cases don't just expose violence, they expose betrayal. In this case, what began as a missing person investigation slowly turned into something far more devastating. A husband realizing that the woman he trusted most was capable of murder. Zach walked into an interrogation room believing he was there to help police solve the disappearance of his wife's friend. He had no idea investigators were building a case against his own spouse. Taylor Ree had been known to both Zach and his wife, Ashley MacArthur. According to Zach, Taylor met Ashley through professional connections and eventually formed a friendship with her. She had visited their home before, and there had never been any obvious hostility between them. Taylor did have a habit of disappearing for short periods, sometimes going days without answering her phone. Because of that history, her sudden absence did not initially raise panic. But as days turned into weeks, something felt different. She had left personal belongings behind, and the few messages sent from her phone didn't sound like her usual tone or writing style. Eventually, the case escalated dramatically. Taylor's body was discovered buried on property connected to Ashley's relatives. What was first treated as a routine missing person investigation became a homicide case overnight. Detectives began tracing timelines, financial transactions, and digital records. As evidence mounted, Ashley quickly became their primary suspect. Zach, however, did not yet know how serious the situation had become. When Zach sat down with investigators, he appeared cooperative and calm. He explained how he knew Taylor and confirmed that she and Ashley had grown close over time. When asked about September 8, the last day Taylor was seen alive, he did his best to recall his movements. He stated he had eaten lunch alone at a local restaurant because his wife was tied up with work. Bank records later confirmed that he used his debit card there, strengthening his account. At that stage, Zach seemed to believe he was simply assisting police by clarifying details. The conversation shifted toward money. Detectives asked whether Taylor had given any funds to him or Ashley. Zach firmly denied knowing about any such arrangement. He explained that Ashley handled most of the household finances. Whenever he earned money from investigative work or legal settlements, he handed it over to her. He admitted he rarely reviewed bank statements and trusted her to manage everything responsibly. Financial records told a troubling story. Taylor had reportedly given Ashley approximately $34,000 for safekeeping while going through a divorce. She wanted the money kept out of her own accounts temporarily. Instead of placing the funds in secure storage, Ashley deposited them into her personal accounts and spent the money. Even more significant, Taylor had requested the return of the money on September 8, the same day she disappeared. Investigators now had a clear financial motive. Detectives also questioned Zach about property on Britt Road where Taylor's body had been found. The land belonged to Ashley's relatives. Zach acknowledged he had been there before, but insisted his last visit was months earlier when he traded a vehicle. Investigators then focused on phone usage. They asked whether he ever loaned his phone to anyone, or whether it had been lost or stolen. Zach said he always kept it with him and had never given it to Ashley. Phone records became a critical part of the case. Data placed Ashley's phone at the Britt Road property around the time Taylor was believed to have been killed. Additionally, Taylor's phone was traced to a wedding Ashley attended the following day, even though Taylor herself was never seen again after September 8. Investigators were ensuring there was no way Zach could claim someone else had used his device. His consistent answers helped distance him from any suspicious digital activity. The questioning grew more direct when firearms were discussed. Zach admitted he owned multiple guns, including a Glock handgun. He also acknowledged that he had previously purchased a handgun for Ashley and remembered she once carried a .38 caliber firearm. Taylor had been shot, making weapon ownership relevant. When investigators asked directly whether he had participated in the killing or helped conceal it, Zach responded firmly and emotionally that he had absolutely no involvement. He stated he wanted nothing to do with anything like that. Throughout the interrogation, Zach's demeanor remained steady. He maintained eye contact, leaned forward during questioning, and kept his posture open. He did not appear defensive or evasive. While body language alone cannot determine innocence, investigators often consider it alongside evidence. Zach's willingness to answer questions and eventually authorize access to his phone records reinforced the conclusion that he was not involved. As the interview continued, detectives pressed him about what he believed had happened to Taylor. Zach admitted he did not know and expressed sympathy for her. He stated that no one deserved such a fate. When asked whether he thought his wife could commit such a crime, he struggled emotionally. He described Ashley as intelligent and educated, arguing that the crime seemed careless and sloppy for someone with her background. His comments revealed the internal conflict he was facing. Evidence pointed toward guilt, yet trust and loyalty made it difficult to accept. Meanwhile, investigators had gathered substantial proof against Ashley. Bank records confirmed the missing money. Phone data placed her at the burial site. Surveillance footage captured her purchasing cement, matching the material used to conceal Taylor's body. Taylor's phone appearing at the wedding after her death further suggested deliberate attempts to manipulate the timeline. Eventually, after reviewing all available evidence, investigators cleared Zach of any wrongdoing. His alibi, lack of financial control, and absence of incriminating data supported his claims. He was allowed to leave while the case against Ashley moved forward. Ashley MacArthur was charged with first-degree premeditated murder. Prosecutors argued that financial desperation provided motive and that digital evidence demonstrated opportunity and planning. During trial proceedings, the jury evaluated phone records, financial documents, and surveillance footage. After deliberation, they returned a guilty verdict. Ashley was sentenced to life in prison with a mandatory minimum of 25 years. The conviction brought legal closure to the case, but left profound personal devastation behind. For Zach, the process meant confronting the reality that the woman he defended during interrogation had committed a calculated killing. This case demonstrates how modern investigations rely heavily on technology and financial tracking. Digital footprints, bank statements, and surveillance cameras often reveal what personal testimony cannot. It also highlights the emotional complexity of cases involving spouses or close family members. Loyalty can delay acceptance of truth even when evidence becomes overwhelming. What began as a missing friend investigation ultimately exposed financial betrayal and premeditated violence. Zach entered the interrogation room believing he was helping police solve a mystery. By the end of the case, he learned that the greatest shock was not the crime itself, but the identity of the person responsible. What makes this case even more chilling is how close the truth was, hidden behind trust, loyalty, and a relationship that seemed unbreakable. Sometimes the biggest danger isn't a stranger, but someone you never expect. If you want more real stories that uncover the truth behind shocking crimes and investigations, make sure to like and subscribe.